Good morning. It's Dr. Bill Williams again on the Influencers Podcast. It's January 5th. We're having a great start to the new year. And today I want to bring in Libby Alpert, owner of MyTwoCentsOnBusiness, a marketing and advertising firm. So welcome to the Influencers Podcast. How are you doing, Libby?
Good. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's nothing better than to start off with a good marketing lesson in the morning. Coming to us live from Pompano Beach, Florida, I understand?
Yeah, Parkland, Florida. Pretty close.
Nice place to be right now. How are the snowbirds treating you?
They're good.
They're coming in fast and furious. Flocks are flying in, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure Florida is a great place. My parents lived in Jax Beach. Up north, it's almost like Georgia, though, up in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
How far down the coast are you?
We're closer to Miami, like an hour north of Miami, but we like traveling up north as well, like to the Springs area. It's nice to do some nature hikes with the kids.
Excellent. Yeah. I did my checkout dive for scuba diving in the Springs up there in the Crystal River.
Yeah.
Beautiful area of the world. So we want to find out about My 2 Cents on Business. That's a great name. Can't forget it. What do you do? Let's look at that. Tell us about how you got started.
So what I do is I help small businesses with their online presence. I do websites and social media mostly, but I also help anybody that has any questions about how to get their business started. And I'm just there to support the small businesses and help them get their foot on the ground and get their business up and running. How I started is, so I used to work for corporate and high tech, and I used to commute between 60 to 90 minutes a day. And that gave me a lot of time for podcasts. So I listened to a lot of different podcasts about, like Mel Robbins and another podcast about adapting to the new world. And I just realized that there are many more ways to work than the conventional 9 to 5. And I had this dream to one day break out of the 9 to 5 and start working towards my own dreams and not work towards somebody else's dream. And lucky enough, last year, I had the privilege of having the time to start my own business. And as someone that worked in the corporate world for a long time, I know sometimes you're in like this closed window and you look outside and you're like, I want to be doing this, but how do I get to that? And it's true. It's not easy to jump from a steady 9 to 5 salary to go out and do something on your own, because in the beginning you're making nothing. So I have to say I was lucky to have the opportunity. My husband got relocated. It made us shift positions in a household. And I had the opportunity with him working his new job to kind of explore this new opportunity of my own.
So you live in the American dream, going from corporate to working in the home. So many of us dreamed about that. And I'm kind of with you. I retired from dentistry as a dentist for 47 years, and I was kind of chained to the chair to make income. I had to be there. I had to show up every day. I had to perform like a circus animal for my patients, which I'm glad to do. But this is much more fun, doing podcasts and talking to people and interviewing people from all around the country. So I agree with you. If you can do it, the entrepreneurial spirit, express yourself. Hey,
definitely.
When you got started, it didn't just happen automatically. Tell us about something that you did that didn't work first. What did you learn from it, and how did you recover?
So actually my first experience in entrepreneurship is I lived in a different country, and there I saw these chains that people, like women, were wearing these necklaces with kind of chunky beads, and they were really pretty. But I just thought, like, they're such a statement, and they're bold colors. And like, what if today you're wearing this color or that color, like, and you're chained to these colors of the necklace? Why not make it interchangeable? Because so I created this box called My Bead Box, and it had a variety of beads and chains, and basically you can make like interchangeable necklace. So it's still like these bold chunky necklaces, but you could change it around with a set of 12 different beads. So every day you can create the necklace for the wardrobe that you decide to walk out the door with.
Sound like kind of like a mood ring. You change with your emotions.
Yeah. And in the country I was living in, it went pretty well. I mean, I launched the day COVID started, which was March 17th, which was also my birthday. So it was my gift to myself to launch this business. But also everything changed at that time, because we all went into having to stay at home, and like everybody's lives changed. But with that, like, I was still able to kind of get the business going, and I had some sales. But then, a few months later, we moved to a different country, to the United States, and I had to start over. And I thought, oh, I'll move over, and within a month or two, I'll get my business started again. Well, there were quite a few other challenges in getting my kids settled and into their, like, feeling comfortable at school. And also at the time they were still studying from home because of COVID. So it took me a year to get the business off the ground again. And what I found is that the target audience here is definitely not the same target audience I had back there. And also, like, my passion for it changed a lot. So after trying a few different things, I tried putting it in a store, and I tried different marketing, and it just wasn't working anymore. And I had to rethink it. And so I just, sat down with myself, and I'm like, okay, well, what did I really like about having this business? And I realized that what I liked was the back end. I liked creating the website, and I liked putting up the marketing and the social media, and like planning. And I realized I could do that for any business, because that's my background. I have 15 years in marketing background. And that's when I decided to shift over. I actually, a few months ago, donated tons of beads to an old age home, and I got pretty pictures of all these older women that made themselves necklaces, and they were happy with it. So I'm happy my beads went to a good cause, and I'm happy to be on a new venture.
That's a great story. Sounds to me like you learned that for yourself, going B2B was more appropriate for your skill set than going B2C. To interface with the public was more difficult because you had to have a product that you didn't know if the audience would accept it. Is that about it?
Yeah. With little funding, it's hard to find your target audience. Like, I wasn't spending money on advertising, and trying to figure out who my audience organically was definitely hard. But even when I was in corporate and high tech, I always used to say yes, there's B2C and B2B, but at the end, it's also B2H. Like, you're doing a business to humans, and you have to figure out the human that you're trying to reach, no matter what, whether it's a business person or an individual.
I like it. B2H.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a new terminology I hadn't heard from anybody, but you're right.
Yeah.
Business to humans. Now, other people have been your clients, and you've seen things they've done that didn't work. Can you give us 1, 2, 3 things that might be common failure points?
Yeah. So I could say about myself, sometimes you have a great idea and you go forward with it, but you don't really do the market research to figure out if that's what the audience wants. And that's why my bead business failed. It did work in one country, but then coming over, the audience is different. And I just tried to sell the same product to a different audience, and it wasn't working. And you say, oh, well, why don't you just, sell it back home? Well, it was a big expense to ship it. Like, it wasn't even worth it for me to ship it, because I can't charge what I'm paying for shipment. anyways, there's many reasons. Okay, so one reason is going 100% with your passion, but without doing the market research. That's one reason people fail. What other fail? I think, like, don't let other people define you. I see, I work with a lot of small businesses, mostly women owned, and, you know, people have like a down day, and it's because they had a bad client, or somebody said something bad, or even somebody wasn't appreciative of the work that they did. And like, we have to not let other people define us, because we're gonna keep being let down. Just, you have to be true to yourself, and go with your true self. That's an important one, especially for women. A dead end is not always a dead end. Like, try to be creative about things. Like, even when you think you've reached a point where it's a dead end, like, try to look at it from a different perspective. Try to, like, go to sleep, wake up. Sometimes there is another solution, and sometimes there is a dead end. Like, you have to kind of give it time and figure it out, and just don't give up right away. And I think another failure in general is just, like, for all of us, being on our phone too much. Like, we have to learn to put it down.
Yeah, that one creeps in there in every instance, in every part of life, not just business, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From 5-year-olds on up.
Yeah, and even younger, unfortunately, I see it.
Yeah, I like your advice. You know, if you're in business, you have to grow a thick hide. You have to be able to weather the storm. You have to come to work with an umbrella so you don't get rained on, because not everybody's going to agree with you. You're not going to win every sale. Every no I hear is not a no. It just means I don't understand.
Right.
Good points. Thank you for sharing that. Let's talk about motivation. What makes you get up and go every day?
I love helping people. Like, I love the feeling of helping somebody else. You know, it's those little words of encouragement when a client says to me, yeah, my friends tell me they see all my social posts, like, you know, or a client told me the other day, I finally got my first lead from my website, which is a big deal. You know, like, I'm telling you, most of my clients are working organically only. So they get their leads from either social media or from the website. And when you work on a website and you paid a good chunk for it, and you have that little form on there, and finally a lead comes through, it's a big deal. And so those little moments make me happy. And even yesterday we just put up a campaign, a search to call campaign for somebody, and she's spending like very little, like $3 a day. And she called, and finally I see one click, and I call her up, and I'm like, did somebody call you? And the first thing she's like, oh, it was spam. And then 3 minutes later she called me. She's like, Libby, it was a real lead. And like, she told me all about it. And, you know, those moments make me happy, like that we're doing little things that are affordable, but making a difference.
Very, very good. Tell us about your company motto. My 2 cents on business is almost like a motto, but what is your motto?
So my motto is, like, sometimes you just have to do it. You have to just jump and do it. And this business was really jumping out of my comfort zone. So my motto was just start doing things. You can always go back and fix later. So even the name, I didn't think about it too much. I had before the My Beadbox, and I figured that the My is a good solution when you want a domain. And it's already taken. So you can add like My 2 cents, or you can always, the My helps the domain become available. So I when building this agency, I didn't think too much. I just had to go forward like a horse and like not look to the sides, not ask too many questions, not ask for opinions, because I said, if I'm not gonna, if I ask too much, I'm gonna get stuck. So that was my motive.
What would you say would be 3 success secrets that others can model from you? Things that you do that work that they might implement?
So surround yourself with like-minded people. I have to say that many of my clients have kind of become my friends and my business people that I speak to also on a professional level, because at the end of the day, they're business owners. I'm a business owner. I can help them in marketing, but maybe I can learn something from them. And having those like-minded people helps you. It helps you when you're having a down day, that you know who to pick up the phone to, and it helps you when they're down, that you could pick them up. So that's one thing, to surround yourself with people that are in a similar place to you. Be ready to adopt, change, improve. I launched thinking my business was going to be, mostly websites based, and very quickly I learned that more people want social media, and I had to change that over. And yes, I do have a few clients that are still asking for websites, but today I have more website retainers than I thought I would originally have. And just stay humble. Yeah.
I can see that for the most part, you talk about who you would be selecting as clients, and it would be people that you would want to be calling friends.
Yeah.
That would be very obvious when I hear you talk and see your way you approach business. It's going to be a good friend relationship, and it's not a cookie cutter approach at all. Very ideal for each client. That kind of leads to the question of why would somebody choose you, My 2 Cents on Business, as their marketing agency?
First of all, they don't have to. Only if we have a good connection, and if they feel that my solution is what they need. I think most people, they choose me because they got to me through a referral. And that's one of the best ways to get business, through referrals, because it means one person is happy with you and they referred you over to somebody else. So I just try to be approachable and affordable. And I don't think about the money first. If I can help you, if we have a conversation and I can give you 3 tips on how to improve, and that's good enough for you, then we both walk away happy. I know you walk away happy. And even if you don't need my service, you're gonna, at some point, you'll recommend me to somebody. And yeah, so I think that pretty much says it all.
Yeah, I think the approachability factor really does work for service industry in general. And if you can get to know you before they actually meet you, that's a big help.
Mm-hmm.
Having an online presence so they could say, oh, it's a real person. Who would be your ideal client?
Most of my clients are small businesses. I do have a big percentage of women-owned small businesses, probably because we relate to each other, but I'm not limiting myself to women's businesses only. And I would say it's either people that are just getting started. It's a new business and they need to set up everything, their website, their digital presence, some listings, SEO, social media, like they need to set up everything. Or it could be somebody that's been in business for years, for even 30 years, but their systems, their digital presence is kind of stuck 20 years ago, and they need to bring it up to date and, update things.
And I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people that are out of date these days. It changes so fast.
Yeah. People don't realize it. A website, might be from 10 years ago and it looks like it's from 10 years ago.
I used to be a webmaster back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I kept my website far too long. It was so outdated. By the time I turned it over to a real webmaster.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
And websites don't have to be overcomplicated nowadays. There are a lot of different options, and it could be. I honestly think like they don't need to be overcomplicated. Yeah.
Truly, yeah. What about your client? How do you find them? Your marketing technique?
Like social media mostly, and like I said, most of them come to me through referrals right now. So I do outreach when I'm tagged on a post. When somebody tags me on we have local groups, Facebook groups, and people come on and they're like, oh, who can help with this and who can help with that? And usually when there's a website question, a few people tag me, and that's when I reach out to people. And very rarely, like if I see somebody I know is, changing positions or starting something new, I'll reach out to them and I'll say, hey, do you want to discuss what are you going to do about your website? It's a very non-aggressive approach, I would say.
Perfect. Now, do you have a well-defined product or service that you want to identify that you have available?
Yes. So I do website projects end to end, digital presence. Like I said, getting businesses set up on their Google business profile, some other listings, making sure everything is interconnected, the website, the listing. And then besides the website projects and digital presence, I also do social media retainers. So there are some clients that I run their social media completely.
Okay. Take the burden off of them.
Yeah. And then, right. And then there's a social media plus website retainer, which there's a social media aspect. And then there's a website aspect, like keeping the website up to date, adding blogs, sending a newsletter once a month. So just kind of getting the basic marketing out of the way for somebody else that it might be, like you said, a burden to somebody else who it's a big deal to them.
Yeah. When I studied under J. Conrad Levinson, the father of guerrilla marketing, and he was actually down in Delray, Florida, near Orlando. So when I was down there studying with him, one of the things he told me, you need to be seen everywhere all the time. And that's not any less true now, because there's a lot more places to be seen than radio, TV, and print ad. Now you get all the social media. How does somebody keep up on all the platforms?
So I actually, my advice to people is, you could look at it a few different ways, but for the people that want to do it on their own, I tell them, be where you feel comfortable. If your comfort zone is Facebook and Instagram, be on Facebook and Instagram and just get in a schedule. And that's what I do. Like I help them get in a schedule and to a rhythm and ideas of something that they can keep up with. If it's 3 times a week, twice a week, 5 times a week, whatever it is, like do what makes sense for you. And then for the people that want to be all over the place and don't have the time for it, you outsource and you pay for it.
Do you have favorite platforms that you recommend, and how do you choose which one a company should use?
It depends on the company's goals. So I'll talk about most of my clients. So most of my clients are women that are more or less my age. I would say, from their 30s to their 50s, and they're local businesses. So for local businesses, most people, they have a Facebook and they have an Instagram, and that's where your clients are, and that's where your friends are, and that's where your friends' friends are. So that's where you have to be. Again, if you're a local business and you want to reach the people around you, that's what I would recommend to them. If somebody is a music pop star and they want to reach globally, then probably like TikTok and YouTube. So it really depends.
Do you have geofencing and geolocation as integral parts of your marketing, since you're primarily dealing with local businesses?
Do you mean in like advertising?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like I said, most of my clients we're doing organic marketing only. So I don't really deal with that. But yeah.
If you're looking at the concept of five-star client experience now, how does your firm, My 2 Cents on Business, deliver?
I think I give clients the feeling like I'm always there for them. So they can reach out, on WhatsApp, and most of the time they'll get a pretty fast answer. And if not, I'll say to them, I'll get back to you tomorrow. It's just about being there for them and being able to answer their questions when they need it. And also like being honest, telling them even the hard truths sometimes, and also bringing out of the box ideas. I think clients appreciate that. Like, when you buy a service and you keep doing more of the same, it's okay. It's what you bought for. But when you get the added value of somebody coming back to you and saying like, "Hey, you should do this. Hey, let's do that," and they appreciate that extra. So that's what I
Sounds
try
like
to do.
personal service is your really big winning move. Being there with them, holding their hand, being there when they need you,
Yeah.
not being like a corporate giant that really doesn't care about the small person.
Yeah, exactly.
What about brand ambassadors? Do you have clients that refer to you and become brand ambassadors?
Unofficially, like I said, on Facebook groups, like even I'm surprised if I look at posts like just last week. Somebody asked for some website, and like 6 different people tagged me on a post. And I think that's pretty good on a local business post that I get 6 tags. And I saw somebody else that was tagged, and he's been in business for 30 years. And I'm like, oh, I'm right up with him. Like he got 2 mentions, I got 6 mentions. I'm like, that's pretty good. So I feel that what I'm doing, I'm on the right path, and I just have to keep doing what I believe in doing, and I get those referrals.
And you said you mostly grow by organic, or your clients grow by organic rather than
Hmm.
paid digital media. Is that right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about today? What are you personally grateful for? And that's jumping from more corporate talk to, talk about Libby herself.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for the flexibility that I have, for the ability, to choose my clients, to work on a schedule, to be able to drive my son to soccer and come back, and in the middle of my workday. So I think the flexibility is a big factor. I'm grateful for the great people that I meet along the way. I think I didn't mention this before, but in the event space, there's a project that I'm doing in the event space, and it's created like this powwow of women that are vendors for events, and that's been very nice seeing it come together. And I'm hoping for more exciting things around that in the new year, so we can collaborate more and feed off of each other businesses. And I think having the freedom to choose who I work with.
Yeah. If you're working for a corporate giant or a big company, any size, they tell you who you're going to work with. And it's like, you may fit, you may not. But the beautiful thing is, if you own your own business, you get to choose.
Right. Yeah, you get to choose, and it's nice. I get to learn. So I do have one client that actually I do a lot of paid media for. One client, he's very different than everybody else. But what I learned from that client, I get to use on the other clients, and vice versa. So it's a learning game, constant learning game.
Excellent. How do you get up as a entrepreneur who gets to work from home pretty much? How do you start your day?
Okay, my secret is to wake up before everybody else. I'm not, I don't have like the official 5 a.m. whatever, and I don't do 5 a.m. For me, it's mostly 6 a.m. I just like that hour of quietness before everybody else gets up. For me, I usually do yoga during the week. I try to make it to the pool once a week, to swim. I used to be a swimmer. And yeah, just start your day before everyone else have that alone time. What else? How do I start my day? Yeah, basically yoga and swimming and having that quiet time. And eventually, I think I'm going to start running again. I want to try to start running again.
Yeah, in the warmer times of the year here in Atlanta, I'll go out and walk around the park for an hour, try to get in about 3 miles of walking. That's only since I retired.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how it is when you're working and you got to get up and get into the office. But I've enjoyed that part of my life, is a little bit more focused on me rather than just going in and working at the office. So you probably noticed immediately a change when you went from the office environment to your own relaxed lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's totally relaxed, but it's definitely different. And I definitely have more time. I'm not spending the time on the road and wasting it in traffic. That's for sure.
Yeah, don't you know that commute time is so wasted for most people? Some people can make it useful, but I never did enjoy the commute time. So I always, I want to live within 5 minutes of my office always.
Yeah. To be honest, even when I was working for high tech, I used to take a day once every 2 weeks to work from home, just to catch up without the interruptions. Like, because in marketing, you have reports and Excels, and I found myself like going into the office like every day. I'm like, okay, today I'm going to work on this. And I just couldn't do it. So I needed that one day every 2 weeks to just catch up on Excels and reports. And I used to say, like, one day I'm going to write a book about this, like about working from home. But then COVID happened and it became like everybody's doing it. So I was like, okay, like,
exactly,
it wasn't something to write about anymore.
Yeah, COVID changed a lot of things about how we look at life and how we actually operate. So it was good in a lot of ways, bad in a lot of ways. But here we are at home, and we're experiencing life in a different way.
Yeah.
What's your long-term goal now as far as my 2 cents in business?
So I would like to expand, but as you said before, it's a very personalized service, and that's one of the biggest challenges I have, to figure out how to grow without losing that personal touch. And it's a question that I'm constantly asking myself and speaking to people that I trust about. So yeah, expansion is my next step, but I can only do it if I can figure out how to keep the same quality of work.
Bringing in the good people is not an easy thing sometimes.
Yeah.
What's advice you'd give to yourself if you're looking back when you were 20? And now where would you say go as a young person?
I would just say everything happens for a reason, and try to see the half glass full. Because at the end, like, there's nothing I regret, even, positions I wasn't as happy with, bosses I wasn't as happy with. At the end, everything I went through made me stronger and made me made me who I am today. So I don't believe in regrets. I don't believe in, like, when people are like, oh, do you regret doing this, or why didn't you do that, or like, where is it better? These questions, like, what do they help? Just look at now, look at the future. And just believe everything is for a reason, and it's like life happens to you for a reason, and there's a learning from every point in life.
Do you have a current living mentor that you follow, and what's been the impact on you?
Okay, so I'd say there are like two types of mentors. There are the mentors that are like far away from you, like you've heard their story, and you aspire to be like them, like Sarah Blakely for me, or Mel Robbins. Like, these are people that I've listened to their podcast, I've listened to their stories, and they do inspire me because of the way they've come from down up. So those are definitely stories, and I would advise anybody that wants to do anything, like, find the people that inspire you. And today everybody has a podcast or something that you could listen to, or a book that you can read about their path and learn from it. On a day-to-day, I think there are more mentors out there than you think. Like, for me, many different people can be a mentor. It could be a friend who is a CEO and she's really good at decision making, and I know to turn to her when I have to make a tough decision. Or it could be a coworker that she's super organized, and I need tips from her, like, oh, how do you organize it, and like, I'll talk to her. So a lot of different people around me, like, I know their skill sets, and I just know who to turn to for different things that I need.
So why is being impactful important to you, in that same idea of being there for somebody that needs mentoring? If you were the mentor.
Yeah. I love the feeling of making someone else feel great about themselves or about their business. That's it. Like, I just like helping other people, making feel good about themselves.
What do you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done, Libby?
Probably just helping people.
Now, if you can give us a way to connect to your business, to you, how would you do that?
Yes. So right here, I put it out here. So one way is you can just send me an email, and you can follow my Instagram. I do have a website, but I have to say this year has been a lot, and I haven't even gotten to a chance to update my website. So I feel like it's out of date. So I'm not sending people directly to it. But my Instagram is there, and you can see some of my past projects. And another way is just to send me an email and contact me.
Perfect. So Libby at MyTwoCentsOnBusiness.com will get you a quick return answer. And you could probably get her WhatsApp link if you're a nice person. Tell us how your experience has been on the Influencer Podcast today.
It's been great. I love it.
Excellent. I'm glad you were able to give us the insights into your business and what you did. I think the personality that comes across is that you're a helping hand to people that you relate to, and you'll give everything 110% to your clients. So it's a warm feeling. I think that's a good thing you give out, a good vibe. Yeah. I'm going to give you the chance to have the final word before we continue.
The final word, I would say, no dream is too big. Follow your dreams, take small steps, break down your dream into smaller steps, ones that you can do. Sometimes it's okay to plan just 24 hours in advance, and slowly make progress, and you'd be surprised where you can get to.
Great job. That's wisdom from Libby Alpert of My 2 Cents on Business. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And as we draw close to the end of our podcast, one of the things that I want to do is share with you about what that QR code means on my side there. It's the way you get in touch with me to be on the Influencer podcast, for one. It's a way that you can go to my website, drbillwilliams.tv, and you can see all the different versions and sessions we've had. 130 something different podcasts are now up from the past year, and we're now moving into 2024, our second year with the Influencer podcast. If you want to know more about what we're doing, I like to share with people that we're doing a lot of things in the IT business, using software to build your business. And Libby, this might be useful for you, and you can give it away to your clients. This is the reason it's useful, because with OTrim, you can make QR codes that are trackable, and you can make short URLs. And these are tools we give away for free. So if you've got clients that want to build codes, or you want to build them for them, you could build it for them. Have a long website that's got an internal page that has a long look to it, shorten it up, and they can be used to go straight to that particular page. Mm-hmm. So that's a very useful one. But this one is probably the most useful for a marketer, is our tracker, OTracker. And if you want to have something that's better than Google Analytics, that will help you geolocate and geofence what you're putting out, you can actually tell where people are coming from and send traffic to certain geolocations. So very helpful to have OTracker as part of your toolkit. So I want to just make that available. And then one of the things that we're known for is giving away a lot of things to our customers and our clients. And so we have a crowdfunding mechanism called Obless, where you can set up an account to support a nonprofit, a church, a synagogue, an NGO, maybe even a new startup profit business, somebody who needs to get off the ground. Well, Obless can help them fund that project. And there's a marketing system built into it. So you could take Obless as a marketing company and help them implement things as a project organizer. So a lot of good things going on in our business. So I just want to share those with you. And a lot of things we have are free, and everything is cutting edge with AI technology built into it. So thank you guys in the audience for tuning in. Libby, we are in 190 countries around the world, and we always look for the influencers of the world, those who are making a difference, those who are the leaders in the industry. So thanks for being a part of the Influencer podcast group. Look forward to seeing all of you guys on the next podcast coming up in a short time. Thanks again, Libby. See you again.
Thank you.